Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer because today we are tackling a really painful paradox. You know the one. It's having these massive, vivid dreams, like imagining the life you want so clearly it literally feels real, but then finding yourself completely paralyzed when it's actually time to do the work.
Seriously, why do ambitious people freeze? Why does someone who is so capable and just full of great ideas get continuously stuck in neutral? Look, if you're tuning into this, you probably know that exact feeling of telling yourself, okay, tomorrow's going to be different, only to do the exact same thing all over again. But I want to assure you right off the bat, you are not a bad person. You do not lack talent. You're actually just caught in a psychological pattern. So, let's unpack it.
It almost always starts like this. You wake up with the absolute best intentions. Today is the day you finally start. You feel that spark, right? You're totally going to work on that project and take that crucial first step towards your big goal.
But then, well, you just check your phone. Just for a second, right? You scroll for a few minutes, and bam, those few minutes instantly derail the whole day. Before you know it, an entire hour has passed. Half the day just melts away. You tell yourself, oh, I'll start after lunch. But by then, let's be real, your motivation is entirely gone.
And then, unfortunately, comes the nighttime guilt. You're lying in bed, feeling incredibly disappointed in yourself. Because deep down, you know you wasted another day doing absolutely anything except the one thing you actually know you should be doing.
And repeat. You promise yourself tomorrow will be different, you get that brief, weird surge of nighttime motivation, and then the whole cycle just loops again. The absolutely crucial thing to understand here is that this exact pattern, it's likely been looping for months or honestly, maybe even years. But here is the good news. Because it is a pattern that was built over time, it can totally be changed.
So that brings us to Section 1, the lazy ambition paradox.
And straight into Section 2, your brain in survival mode.
To actually break this vicious cycle, we have to shift the blame away from a lack of talent or drive and really look under the hood at what your brain is actually doing. See, there's this constant conflict happening inside your mind right now. On one side, your ambitious brain is seeking achievement and setting these massive goals, but it's constantly fighting your survival brain, which just seeks safety, ease, and fundamentally wants to avoid the discomfort of effort. When you think about those big goals, your brain literally perceives the effort, the uncertainty, and the potential failure as an immediate physical threat.
So we need to completely redefine what you've been calling laziness. Actually, scratch that. It's not laziness at all. It's survival mode. It's a deeply ingrained biological response designed to protect you from the pain and uncertainty of hard work. Instead of facing that perceived threat, your brain offers you an easier option, like scrolling on your phone or playing a video game, which gives you this quick, cheap dopamine hit. So your brain quickly learns that avoiding your goals actually feels pretty good in the moment.
But there is a massive cost to this, right? You are trading long-term happiness for short-term comfort. And while retreating to safety feels good right now, you're actively teaching your brain that your dreams just don't matter. Every single day you choose comfort over action, you are literally stealing your own future joy. And worse, reinforcing this false belief that you just aren't good enough.
Now let's move to Section 3, the perfectionism trap. This is where we get to dismantle the biggest lie you tell yourself about why you aren't starting. Yep, I'm talking about perfectionism. Based on our source material, perfectionism isn't actually about having high standards at all. It is fear disguised as excellence. It's basically a very clever excuse your brain uses to never start. Because, hey, if you never start, you can never fail, right? You wait for the perfect plan, or until you magically feel ready, or until the conditions are just ideal. But newsflash, perfect never comes. You are using this fantasy to avoid testing your dreams in the messy, real world.
Failure is not the opposite of success. Inaction is. I really want you to think about that for a second. When you fail, you actually learn something valuable. But when you do nothing, you guarantee that you learn absolutely nothing. I mean, every successful person you admire has probably failed more times than you have even tried. The only difference? They simply take imperfect action.
Which leads us to Section 4, building systems over willpower.
All right, to break this cycle once and for all, we have to pop the balloon of motivation. Seriously, motivation is just a fleeting feeling that comes and goes. You absolutely cannot build a life on a feeling. Discipline, on the other hand, is a structured system built one small decision at a time. You will probably never wake up just bursting with energy to do the really hard things. You've got to replace that Hollywood fantasy with the unsexy but highly effective reality of structure and consistency.
And making that shift requires environmental design. Successful people don't possess some sort of magic willpower. They just design their environments so that focusing becomes the default action. Like, put your phone in a completely different room. Actually clean your workspace. Set specific focus times and guard them like they're totally sacred. Close those 99 unnecessary browser tabs. Every single time you remove a distraction, you remove a decision, which saves your precious mental energy for your actual goals.
Okay, and here comes a little bit of tough love. You need to stop consuming so much content. I know, you probably don't want to hear this, but constantly watching videos about success or listening to endless productivity explainers, it feels like progress, sure, but it's really just another clever form of avoidance. Your brain is totally tricking you into thinking that learning is the exact same thing as doing. Trust me, it's not.
And finally, Section 5, taking imperfect action.
So how exactly do we pivot from this passive dreaming into immediate execution? Well, step 1, accept that you just won't feel like it. Stop waiting for the feeling to arrive. Step 2, pick one incredibly tiny, like 15-minute task. Please don't try to change your whole life overnight. Step 3, fully expect a terrible first draft. Quality comes later. Consistency has to come first. And step 4, practice some self-compassion when you mess up, because as we all know, progress is literally never a straight line.
Neurologically speaking, taking action follows a pretty predictable timeline. On day 1, discipline feels absolutely terrible. Your brain will fight you tooth and nail and give you every excuse in the book. But by day 5, if you just push through, your brain actually adapts to the discomfort. It learns that taking action isn't physically dangerous. And by day 21, that internal resistance gets significantly quieter. It feels awful at first, for sure, but your brain will eventually rewire itself. Lazy is what you have been doing, not who you are. You really have to stop beating yourself up over this. Guilt does not motivate you, and shame certainly doesn't make you any better. By separating your true identity, which is someone with immense potential, from your past avoidance tactics, you finally allow yourself the grace to try again tomorrow without carrying all that heavy weight of past failures.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final, really important question. What is the one small step you will take the very moment this explainer ends? Don't plan it for tomorrow. Don't wait until you magically feel ready. I challenge you to close this explainer right now, stop planning, and go do one single tiny thing to test your dreams out in reality. You are capable of so much more than you think. Now go be that person starting right now.